All right, so this morning's project, we are getting on this PTO. I messed up the gasket on the covers, so we got this cover and one like it on the other side. We're going to reseal it, and that way we don't lose all our gear oil. So we're going old school. We got a piece of gasket material, and we traced the a real rough trace of the cover. There's the cover over there. And so we're working on cutting this the center out, and that center will allow us to slide the gasket over the shaft, and then once we got it lined up, we take the ball peen hammer and ping just like we did on the cardboard for the sides of the truck, and we'll be able to ping around these bearings and cut this out a little better, bigger with them scissors and stuff, and then we'll do one on the other end. So when we get a little further into it, we'll show y'all some more. So the muscle's showing you finesse on how to do this without cutting off a digit or accidentally running all the way across the gasket material with a knife. And you got to get a board seated up on a pile of junk, teetering back and forth. That makes it much more fun. You know, you wouldn't want to clean an actual flat surface and do it the right way when you can cheat and do it the wrong way. And ass backwards and sideways is always more fun. So we're just going to cut this out, then we're going to cut this with scissors, and we'll come back to y'all when we get it back on the pump or the PTO.
Okay.
All right, guys, so we got this cut, just you know, marked it from the shaft. Actually, we took the, where's the plate? So we took the plate, set it on here with the Sharpie. We marked this hole and the bolt holes. So we cut this out just tight for the shaft, but we're going to widen it up from this to this. So back to this, for these small holes, using an old leather punch, and I just catch it, make sure I'm centered on the hole, good as I can get it, squeeze the hell out of it, and then just rock it like this, and that'll finish the cut. And then that comes out. And I don't have a big enough hole, so we're going to get a drill bit the size of the holes we need, and we can flush these out a little bit with the drill bit. This is all Snoop approved, so since Snoop's been checking us out here. And so there's our bolt holes. And again, we'll widen these up so the bolts can go in. We'll just do that with a drill. And then we're going to ping these, and we'll show you how we're going to ping those in just a second.
just matching these gaskets up. It should be a mirrored image. I'm using these transfer punches again, but it's not too helpful with this thin material. Kind of have to just pick your center. We're going to go off of the dimples and not the Sharpie marks. Okay, now that I got my holes transferred, I'm just going to go through this with a pilot bit, get a smaller hole. And I'll come back with a 5/16, match it to this one. Just dressing it up.
Clean my hands so I can impact them a little bit. Yeah. Bring me salad when I want to get high. Huh?
Use a little bit. Like how
Cool.
better? Oh yeah. Not bad, huh?
Yeah, I think that'd be good. Okay. So let's set this down this way.
Almost touching right there.
Well, in keeping with the theory of we rat ourselves out, we put this together wrong. So it's been, shoosh, 15 years since I tore this apart and put it in a bucket. So I had all the pieces there. Ended up getting the bearing and the race configuration incorrect, and I'm gonna pull it apart and show y'all what happened. So we were putting it together and I was talking and not paying too close of attention. So this rear bearing is correct in that it's gonna seat in there like this. And I did not recall having to hammer this race out. Excuse me for kicking the stand. Let me make sure we still got y'all in frame here. So having these bearings, the angle of the bearings facing the same way and sticking in, god dog it, get in there and stay put, like this, kind of the play wasn't right and it never did sit with me right, and I didn't remember hammering this out. So anyhow, I went and found an old drawing of this, and of course the bearings need to be flipped, which would mean that it would sit in and this race would have to be tapped in over the bearing. So we're going to redo that and see if we can't make it work that way. We got that all cleaned up, got the race taken out. So we had it where the tapers were facing the same way, and that seemed like an easy way to do it, but it didn't make sense. So that's why I double checked it. So it should be that the fat sides or the wide sides should be to the inside. So you'll see how that goes here in a second. I'm gonna have to take this off. Make sure my hands are clean. So as you can see right now, the tapers are the same way. So we're gonna flip this over. And the two wide sides are on the inside now. So I'm gonna get a little grease. We're gonna repack a little of this and put it back in, and then we'll re-silicone it up. So again, this is a traditional way that it should be done. They should be opposing each other. I just didn't catch it at the time, and the way it was going to go in, because one bearing was sticking through the other one, I just figured, well, we'll let them both sit in there, but then there's nothing for this surface to ride against the cap, sitting like that. So we're going to stick it in, and then we'll put the bushing, the race in like that, and tap it in, and then that will allow the cap to give it its preload with the little spacers. All right, so we're going to put a little bit more grease on everything. We packed these the other day, so we're just losing the little grease that already squished out. And we're going to pump it up because there's a zerk in the pillar block, so we'll shoot a little bit more in there, make sure she's all lubed up good. So she's going to drop in like this time. Let that bottom bearing get seated. Let me get this grease off my fingers. So the only way I can see to make this work, and again, I hadn't done this in quite some time, is going to be to take this race and tap it in and see if we can get our preload. So we got it cleaned up, lined up. Make sure the hammer's clean. Let's see, we got it. We can check our preload there. Alright, it's tightening it up. I'm gonna switch over. Well, this is still lower, so I'm not gonna hit it. So we're gonna keep going in just a smidge. I want that just maybe a tad more than that. Alright, I'm gonna walk it down because I'm getting kind of close and don't want to hit the bearing, so we're gonna go down just a little bit with the punch. And with the vibration and all that of the chain, and okay, so we're just a little bit proud right there, and that should give us what we need on the cap for it to, the cap to touch. All right, I'm gonna clean this up and we're gonna put the cap back on and silicone it up. Alright, well, the silicone looks a little rough, but we got just a little in play and we're spinning good. So I'm gonna call that done now, except for one thing we got to do, which is this open back here. We got to get our freeze plug in here, and I'm not sure if this one's gonna fit or not, or what we're gonna have to do to get him in there. And the depth of the freeze plug is just about the same as the depth to the shaft right here, which you can see spinning. So I may want to leave it proud just a little bit. We're gonna try with the hammer, see if it wants to get started here. I'll go down a little bit more. Alright. So we're going to leave this just a little proud. That way we don't have any interference with the shaft. So this one's done, just need to pump a little grease, and we'll do that when she's on the truck. Alright, so we got on to the PTO now. We made some gaskets, old style, homemade gaskets. So we're going to clean all of this up. And we took a emery cloth and cleaned up this shaft a little bit, shined it up so where the seal rides will be good. Now I'm trying to decide, we got to change these seals too, so I'm kind of thinking I'm going to do a test fit and see if they'll be in the way, because I may go ahead and seal this, that way we don't get any dirt moving around. Let's take a look at it. Let me get the other plate. Yeah, well, we can use this plate maybe as a guide to hammer that down. Let me see what the let me put this out the way. Alright, let's see if our seals match up. Yeah. And yep. Alright, so these seals will work. Let's see if we can get these other ones out. Do a little more cleaning here. Alright, I'm gonna see if we get lucky here with these big honking vice grips. Maybe. Nah, that ain't gonna fly. Well, we got lucky. Alright. I did not think that would work, but I was told once, even if it's a total accident, if it works, you take credit for it. So I'm gonna take credit for it. And this is all the way over, so I need a little piece of emery and something else. Yeah, we are running out of real estate up here. And that is for sure. Alright. So we got that clean. I need some grease and some high tack. Now let me check and see if these, okay, so we can leave this a little proud. And I don't have my, yeah I do, let's see. Okay, yeah, it'll stay a little bit proud. That's good. All right. Well, we're gonna put a little grease on this rubber. Yeah, and before y'all tell me anything about my shaft here, I know that thing is rough. And we may end up having to come back and revisit that, but for the time being, we're gonna make it work. This is either gonna have to be built up and turned back down, or have to find a new shaft, which is probably gonna be damn near impossible for this old Tulsa stuff. So might end up having to get a whole nother PTO, but well, we're gonna try a little something different here. We're gonna shift this baby. And then we get a socket on there. Let me find us a socket. Well, that's about as high as the other one was. All right. Okay. So we're gonna, to make up for any thin spots we got in damage in these old gaskets or anything, we're gonna use some high tack. Kind of stick these rascals on. So this is gonna be probably a sticky mess. Let me make sure I got, okay, so this is going blue side out. Okay. And this will be the way it goes on. So we're gonna, so this is some thin stuff, and it allows a little bit of slip and slide, but it's real tacky, and it's not gonna get hard and set up on you. But it'll help fill in the gaps. Alright. Put this on. And just so y'all can see, Permatex high-tack gasket sealant. Alright, I'm gonna make sure we got a little grease, and we do. I'm gonna put just a smidge more. Can't have too much lubrication. Alright. And we'll put some bolts in here. That'll get us all lined up and dialed in. And what we have to here is to try and get this all sealed up, because like I said earlier, this PTO came off an older winch truck. So Lord knows when's the last time the seals were changed. I think the shift seals were the last ones I did. Could have been this one as well. I don't remember. But shift seals were the last ones. And it's been sitting in a bucket for 12, 13 years. So now I'm gonna get a ratchet and feel these with my hand so I can tell if they're tight. Way more ratchet than we need, but all right. Now, take this and flip this bad boy over. Alright, let's see what this looks like once we pass a little brake clean on it. Still need a little scraper. And I'm gonna go ahead and shift this thing all the way. Well, that's pretty close. I think she's got one more click in her. Alright, so I'm gonna try our little lucky trick again. See if we get it this time too. There we go. Ah, cool deal. So we clean this shaft up. Let me put her up here like this. So we're going to shift it the other way. Alright. And then that will allow us to get our little seal on there. We're going to get a little grease in it. A little grease around it, and pop on. Little socket action. Trying to get her straight. Alright, that's on there. Cover the grease up. Alright, let me see. Okay. One more little cleanup. Okay, test fit. I want to shave a little bit more here and a little bit more there. All right, let me shave that out like we did the other day, and let me get a short. All right, so we're hitting, and it's offsetting my bolt holes just a little bit. So we need to take a little bit off here. I think that's okay. And this is probably okay too. But we're going to take a little more. So this is going to be razor knife and shaving this. I'll get that done off camera. Alright, so we got a test fit. We shaved a little bit more around this seal. And actually I got to go a little bit more. And just in case y'all hadn't seen enough of that, it's just taking this razor knife and working on shaving a little bit of this, trying to get it to where y'all can see and I don't get shavings in the gear case. All right, and so that is allowing me, yep, to get a good line on all my bolt holes, at least what I think I can see. So let us get our high tack back out. Anyway, it's jumping around, so I'm not gonna fool with it then. But anyway, so the way this is set up is you got a reverse, neutral, low, neutral, high. So we're gonna clean this up, and then we're gonna have to drain our transmission fluid, put our gaskets and shim this, and then we can mount this on the truck and let all this dry up, and we ought to have her sealed up. So let me do a little cleaning and get the drain pan going. We'll see you in a little bit. All right, children, we're pulling the PTO plate off. That's the one that's in frame. I know y'all, I've got 2 or 3 things going. All right. See if you can save that. Look, I got a thing here. As long as it's ain't dripping on the cardboard, we are. So we just saving the gasket if we can, and if we can't, it don't matter. They still make them. I don't think this PTO is gonna work.